Good afternoon, students. This is Dr. Morgan Phenix coming to you from Stanley, Virginia. It's a very, very chilly and dreary day. The remainder of the hurricane, which did not hit us directly, has passed by, but it's still drizzling out there. Here you go. We're coming into week 7. We are in a home stretch here for the final of this course. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you are finding some very good strategic materials to use in whatever setting you're in your future and your studies. Okay? For week 7, the number 1 issue is the case study number 2. Some of you noticed that the link that's existing there in the reading and study, the materials there, it does not work. Apparently there's an error message that comes up, but I have posted a PDF file in the same location, so you can find that. If you have any trouble with that, please be in touch with me. The case studies are on Dan, Emily, or Robert, and they are, read the scenario. All the information you're to use is in the scenario materials. You're not to do any outside research, and even referring to your own experience is probably not appropriate. It is to referring to the strategic details of these things, and also referring to some things that are obviously missing. And that is sort of hard to do, okay? And where do you go to find that? It's good common sense. A leader who is viewing a child's situation and the people who are interacting with that child will have some very, very good ideas as to what is best to do and what is being done well there. So, okay, right? That's it. And you do a 1.5-page brief summary. You can also follow the questions that come at the end of each. In Dan's case, there are 3 questions. His case is a matter of an expulsion for misbehavior, for a discipline case. Then we have in Emily's best interest. She is a special education case, multi-disabilities. And there are questions there at the end. What do you but the questions are so general there. What do you think? Okay? How would you respond? And then what do you think becomes your thesis? I think that Emily needs this and that, or I think that Emily is in pretty good hands as it is. And then we have Robert's case. Robert is an Aboriginal student in Saskatchewan, and it's an issue of cultural sensitivity. Okay, and the questions there: what do you think, and how would you respond? Those become, but turn them into thesis statements and start with that. Okay, that's a 1.5-page maximum. Brief summary of the case that you choose. You choose only one of them, only one. I've had students that have done all 3, only one. And then you do your SWOT, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The quadrant format is the typical one used in marketing strategies for businesses. I would prefer that you use outline format. Okay, and you will have trouble finding strengths and in these, but you will not have any difficulty finding opportunities. The opportunities are where many of your case recommendations will come from, and certainly from weaknesses. If there's something that's not going right, that has to be found in your case recommendation, and likewise with threats. Okay, and do the case. Please, I apologize for this. I would set up, I would allow for, I would encourage. Those are my action words. Pick your own. But in any case, I think almost all of you did the case recommendations in this listing format, and just brief statements, more than a word or two, but less than a paragraph. Certainly less than a paragraph, and less than a complete sentence. That's okay. And where do you go for your best information on how to do well in the case study number 2? Please look back at my case study number 1. I'm hoping that the comments are still there, okay, and that they haven't been lost in that Blackboard crash last week, and I hope not. But case study 1 is going to be your best source for materials, and possibly those will not be there. The final thing, I have 2 things. One is the diverse school proposal part 2. I hope you're working on that, and I hope that the last 2 weeks, which have been lighter weeks, I hope you've had enough opportunity to get some to get ahead on that. Go back to the instructions and look at the 8 headings. Remember, there are 8 headings here. 8 headings. You've got to have all of them. They're 20 points each, 10 points for mission and vision. And there are a couple of them perhaps that you don't have to emphasize quite as much as the others, given the nature of the project that you have chosen. But you must treat all of them. And finally, also, if you're using the PowerPoint option, you can either do a straight text like a regular paper, and you probably have to put some reference there, at least where you're getting your demographics from. Okay, but if you're doing PowerPoint, minimal text on the screen, minimal. okay, and in graphics particularly, or just pictures, just photos, and the details go in the speaker's notes. If you do a PowerPoint and you don't have details in the speaker's notes, you'll lose points there. Okay, but if you do PowerPoints this way, with minimal text on the screen, things that grab your audience and capture their attention, and you have your detail hidden in the speaker's notes, who is going to be the expert in the room then? Who? It's going to be you. You will be the expert in the room as you read the details to the people who are captivated and captured by the graphics there. And people always ask, how many screens, how many slides do I make in a PowerPoint? Well, there are 8 headings, so you have to have a minimum of nine slides, I would think. Title as to what your project is, and then the 8 headings, and then perhaps a conclusion at the end, or more of a conclusion, and references as well. So 8, 9, 10 slides would be the minimum. If you go over 15 or if you go over 20 slides, it's too many, and your audience will only be in touch with you. Even if you have a good PowerPoint, they'll be in touch with you for the first 10 slides or 11. Then they'll look ahead in their notes to see how many more are coming and what time they'll be getting. They'll be looking at their watches and wondering when they're going to get out of there. I've had as many as 31 slides, and it's way too many. Okay. Between 11 and 12, 15 slides. One last thing, I had a very interesting conversation with a student who was asking why I had graded the way I had with regard to discussion board. And we had a back and forth, and I really appreciate it. This is Christy in one of the sections here, and she stuck to her guns on this because the instructions do not define exactly how you are to reply to your classmates. Okay, and I said to her basically that she had not approached her classmate directly, either by name or by response to what the classmate had written. And we had a great back and forth, and we reached an agreement on it, I believe, an acceptable one, and we parted friends. I hope. But here is my take on this, is that discussion board is an exchange. It's a back and forth. And I believe that it should start, and Christy agreed with me in the end. And I went back even and read another student's response, which of course is available to anybody. Anybody can go on discussion board and see what other people have said to their classmates. And if it starts with the classmate's name, and then from there goes to, I really was intrigued by what you said about such and such. And but here's what I also know about that. You can clarify for your classmate. You can add to it. You can criticize if you want, if it's in a decent way, in a proper way. But it's to the classmate's thread or posting, or even a response to a response. You can do that as one of your replies. You can see somebody else's reply to a classmate and respond to that. The idea of the discussion board is an exchange of thought, okay, an exchange of creativity, an exchange of knowledge and background, or about hope for the future, okay. And always with some reference. Always ground what you're saying in something that you've read somewhere, or you can use scripture is perfect as well, as long as it's relevant, okay? But we're not just posting another thread, okay? Your original thread should be a mini essay, a 300-word plus essay on the forum topic, which is very clear for everyone to see. And then the responses are to a classmate. It's not to post something else that you also have thought about. You can do that within your response to a classmate. So I appreciate very much Christy's question to me, because she is correct that the instructions are not very explicit about what you are to respond with or how you are to respond, but it simply says to respond or to reply to a classmate. And in that case, I'm saying reply to the classmate, reply to what the classmate has posted in the form of their thread, or perhaps even a response, okay? And I will give you full credit for 2 responses to the same classmate. If you have a back and forth with a classmate, that's perfect. But it has to be 200 words each. All right? That's enough for today. If you have any questions, be in touch. If we have any difficulties, technical difficulties, always immediately. And I appreciate those people that contacted me about the case study 2 link not working. I think 3 or 4 of you are looking ahead. We're looking ahead that much that you saw that, and I have the PDF posted there, the link directly. And if that doesn't work, I will just send you all an email with an attachment of the 3 case studies, all in a single scanned document. Alrighty, God bless you all. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad we weren't interrupted by barking dogs or There's extra kids in the household this weekend, and it's great having them here. And so I've been to church this morning, and I did this real quick when I got back from church. So have a great day. We'll see you again next week, Lord willing. Bye-bye.